So what is a game we've talked a lot about that you guys are like desperate to not talk about anymore? I'm gonna talk about it anyways, because that's just what we do. Can you think of what it possibly could be? How about good old Starfield, bruh? How about good old Starfield, bruh? Yeah. PlayStation logos have started popping up on Creation Club assets, which is like a little weird because it's like, it's not on PlayStation. Why are PlayStation logos popping up on them? The Starfield mod in question with PlayStation logo is work in progress ship decals and has been created by Valley's Edge. At the time of writing, the PlayStation logo is still visible on the mod's page and on Starfield's official Creation Club workshop website or whatever. This link no longer works. Content not found. Oh. They stripped it off. So people are losing their minds over this, being like, oh my God, it's coming next week. They're going to bring Starfield to PC, whatever. Let's be perfectly honest. Okay. This almost certainly is just a modder that put a logo in like the description box of their mod. Didn't think much of it because they're like, yeah, it's going to come eventually. And yeah, we'll call it good. We'll call it good. This was not an official mod, okay? It was created by Valley's Edge, a different modder. So it's not like this is officially Bethesda coming up and putting the logo on the game's box or anything. Like, that's not what's happening here. And they just seemingly removed it from the website entirely, probably in response to all of this. Now, does that mean that Starfield's not coming to PlayStation? No, like almost certainly it is coming. You can see we have yet to hear anything official about PlayStation 5's port. All we have heard is that Phil Spencer stating earlier this year that no Xbox game stays on the platform. Or I think what he specifically said was like, no Xbox game gets a red line. In other words, like there is no game that is immune from porting. Not Halo, not Gears, not Starfield, not Elder Scrolls 6. Like any game could be ported. It doesn't mean that every game will be ported. It means any game could be ported. And Bethesda's also like recently said they have a lot of exciting plans for the game this year, and they're working on stuff. And there's been leaks and rumors and speculation and everything you could think of suggesting that Starfield will come to PlayStation. My feeling is I think there is money on the table because I do think there are Bethesda fans that exist on PlayStation that didn't play Starfield. I don't think it like magically sells another 5 million copies, frankly. I'd be very surprised if that was the case. But you know what? Ports are, compared to releasing a whole new game, very, very cheap to do. Even if you do 500,000 units, that's still millions upon millions of dollars. Like, why would you leave that on the table? Like, of course you're gonna get that. And that's kind of where Xbox has been. So I wouldn't be surprised if they port it. I wouldn't be surprised if they port it as part of their next expansion. They do like an Ultimate Complete Edition, and it has both expansions all at the same time, and you can buy it on PlayStation for $70. Very generous of them. That's kind of what I'm expecting. So I understand people are looking to this and like trying to conclude, oh, this is basically confirmation it's coming to PlayStation. It appears that it's like a logo on a mod. As you can see, Cami posted this. Rumors Starfield mods are beginning to show with the PlayStation logo. I don't know how their website works. I don't know if this is like a toggle that Bethesda added or if this is something they can add. But like almost certainly we know that it is coming to PlayStation. It's just a matter of time. But you know, the fact that this still gets traction and these tweets still end up with like, you know, articles written about them, it does show something interesting, which is that there is interest, maybe is the word, in Starfield. People still like talking about it. What I've said recently though, I think I mentioned it in my critique of Starfield, is that I think Starfield is kind of, and Bethesda in general, they've kind of become a lol cow in a weird way of gaming. There are people that genuinely like their stuff, that genuinely like what they put out, but a lot of people just like talking about it. You know, they're not playing Starfield, but they like to watch videos of people talking about why Starfield's bad, you know? And it's very interesting. It's very weird, but it's like a similar thing that we saw with Concord, that we saw with like Suicide Squad, the Gollum game before that, Forspoken. There are certain games that people just latch onto, and videos on them will do well because it's that like people like talking about it and like seeing it broken down. And I think part of it is, people love to unite around something, whether that's a love for something like Baldur's Gate or a hatred for something else like Concord. But I do think that there's another piece of it, which is that certain games become kind of symbols for certain topics in the industry. So certain games might be a symbol for live service greed, which is Concord. Other games might be a symbol of wasted potential, which is Suicide Squad, with Rocksteady, an amazing studio, being forced to do this, or not forced, they wanted to, but you get what I mean. Like, they had all this amazing talent and they squandered it. And I think that maybe, this could fall into that same category where Starfield represents something to people that they want to unify against. What that is, I'm not sure. I don't think there's a clean answer for Starfield. More than anything, though, I think it's that people played Starfield and it just didn't give them the same feeling they got from previous BGS games. And so they wanted like some way of expressing or understanding how they felt about it. Because when you play a game and you're like, it just feels off. There's just something weird about it. Like I'm having trouble putting into words how I feel about this game because I like parts of it. I hate other parts of it. And I'm having trouble figuring out how to sort through my thoughts. And I think Starfield was one of those games that people played and then started looking for explanations that matched their own because they weren't really sure how to phrase their feelings about it. Because it was kind of a weird game. I mean, it was a hodgepodge of a bunch of different stuff and, it was kind of a mixed bag, literally. So I think that there's a bit of that where we think back to the old days of Bethesda, like, Skyrim and that kind of being the golden age. And people think back to that and they're like, Starfield didn't make me feel that way. Why? And so they start looking for content that kind of puts into words why it didn't and explains to them what that feeling is. That's at least what I've seen in the videos I've done about Starfield, is that I see a vast number of people that do like Bethesda games, but don't like Starfield because it doesn't feel like a Bethesda game. They wanted it to be X, but it's Y, Z, ampersand, like it's all sorts of weird things they didn't want it to be, which some people connect with, certainly, but a lot of people didn't, and then they look for videos to kind of explain that. But either way, I find it fascinating that you can still have an article going on 2 years after the game's launch. The game is not still driving a ton of players or viewership on Twitch, certainly. It's not like it's a massive phenomenon still, but you still see people talking about it all the time. And the fact that you've if you're watching this stream clip, the fact you've clicked on it shows that there still is some interest in the discourse surrounding it, even if you're not playing the game yourself, which odds are mathematically, the odds are that you're not playing it because there's not that many people playing it. So I think it shows people still care about Bethesda. People still deep down want them to nail Elder Scrolls 6, for example. They really want to see them return to form, but they just haven't quite gotten there. They just haven't quite gotten there. And the hope is by holding their feet to the fire, they actually figure it out. Maybe, the success on PlayStation, if it sells really well over there, maybe that gives them a little extra kick in the pants. Maybe this could explain why it's taken them so long to put out expansions and DLC and stuff, because it has taken them demonstrably way longer to do stuff, like 4 times as long compared to even Fallout 4. So, despite being a company like twice the size. So maybe this port is more complicated than they initially thought. I don't know, but it almost certainly is coming to PlayStation. The website seems to signal that they've at least done back-end coding to put a badge on certain mods to show that it's supported by PlayStation or not supported by PlayStation. So I think they're doing the groundwork. It'll come eventually. Time will tell. Maybe that's their shadow drop in June. They do the Xbox showcase and Bethesda's thing is like, here's a new cinematic trailer for Elder Scrolls and here's the PlayStation patch and release for Starfield available today. Maybe they do that. I mean, they could wait till the fall. Maybe they just do it now. Who knows? It has to be done by now, right? It's been 1.5 years. What have they been doing otherwise, I don't know. Yay, start the revisionist history. Starfield was always great, not good. Great. People will say it's all the updates and DLC, but now it's coming to PlayStation. The hate is going to evaporate quickly. Honestly, shocked PlayStation getting mods this quick too. Oh, is the implication that people the only reason people hated on Starfield was because they were like anti-Xbox. Okay. I mean, it would be funny if like some PlayStation Sony ponies all of a sudden like started loving it. But I think the critiques hold true regardless. Yeah, cope. Yeah, literally, Jimothy. Yeah, literally.